Howdy folks, I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII. Last time, we climbed the stairs, and then we took the elevator to get to the top of the 60, we're going to get to the 59th floor of the Shinra building, the Shinra headquarters. And now, we're ready to continue our attack. As I said at the end of the last episode, whether you come out at the elevator or come out the stairs, this is the exact floor you would end up on. So let's begin our attack. Charge! Here come 3 soldiers. I think these are going to be the special combatants with the special armor. Yeah, the mighty grunts. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and just unload our thunder abilities. Our limit breaks if we've got them, which we do. Limit, cross slash. Let's go with this one. Barrett's limit break is charged. We use big shot on his next turn. And wing. Paralyzed and killed. You can see it didn't even break his armor that time. Thunder. Barrett, limit break, big shot. We're putting on the mighty grunt in the back row. And kablooey. Broke his armor. Alright, now we're down to just the skating guys. Guy in the front's down. And this should probably kill the guy in the back. And it does. Very nice. We got a tranquilizer off of it. Alright. Luckily, also we got keycard 60. Now we can reach the 60th floor. Let's go in this elevator here. Don't worry, this time we don't have to fight a bunch of fights. Talk to this little panel here. And we go to the 60th floor. Barrett and Tifa will step out of Cloud. I believe there is another romance point here. If you talk to Tifa first, you gain points with her. If you talk to Barrett first, you won't gain points with her. So let's talk to Tifa first. You have to talk to both of them regardless. Once you talk to both of them, screen fades. Get a little cutscene here of the nodding off security guard. And then us coming out the door. Alright. Now I don't know what these two guys here are supposed to be. Your kind don't belong here. Go on, get out. I really have no idea what these two are supposed to be. I don't know what there's... I don't know if they're monsters or if they're people. I really can't tell you what they're supposed to be because this angle I can't really tell. I really don't know. But either way, we have to go this way. Okay. What we have to do is we have to go across those golden statues there and hide behind those statues as the soldiers are moving back and forth. If they see us when they're turned facing south, if they see us, we have to go into battle and fight them. Well, so what we have to do is get Cloud across each one of those statues without being seen by the soldiers, and then in that middle platform there. Once I reach the middle platform, I have to summon over Barrett and Tifa the same way. They'll go from statue to statue. Every time I have to watch the soldiers, and every time the soldiers are turning, I summon each of them to go between the statues until they reach the center platform. And then from there, Cloud has to go across again, and then summon Barrett and Tifa across the statues, avoiding the soldiers that you see on the right-hand side there. Again, if you get caught, it's all going to be is a battle. I want the experience of I'm actually deliberately going to get caught. But you can only do that maybe like 5 or 6 times, and the game's like, okay, enough. Obviously, you can't get by them, so it stops you having to deal with that minigame. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deliberately get caught so I can fight them for the experience. I'll show the first... Actually, I'm not even going to bother showing the first battle. I'll show you what it looks like when you get caught. But after that, I'll just cut to when they actually give up on you, and you don't have to worry about this little mini-game anymore. Because I think we're just fighting... Yeah, it's just mighty grunts. So I've already shown you how to fight those guys, so I'm not going to bother showing you the fights. So I'll show you getting caught, and then I'll meet you once the fights are over. So I'll be right back. Hey, you think you're doing there? Alright, we got caught, so there's the fight. Alright, meet you guys after all said and done. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, once you've failed to cross enough times, the game gives up on you, and Barrett says this. Now again, the mini game going across there is not really that difficult. It takes a little bit less time than the grinding, but hey, a little extra free experience never hurts. But all you really had to do is come out here like this, come out of this tunnel here, stay next to these little statues, and as the soldiers behind it would turn and go back and forth, you skip ahead to the next statue, staying behind the statue and out of sight. Once you reach here, Cloud would face this way, and Barrett and Tifa would each come out, stand next to the statue, and you would press the OK button once you saw the soldiers turn to summon them over, and they would run between each statue as you kept hitting OK, summoning them over. Once Tifa and Barrett got to this point, you would then have to move Cloud to here, and then Cloud would do the same thing again, summoning them all over and through the door. So again, it's not really a hard mini game, and it's not like, oh my god, it's too hard for me to do, I'd just rather fight them. I just want to fight them because I want the experience. That, and by doing all that, I got enough kills for Cloud that I have now unlocked his first level 2 limit break, Blade Beam. So, I want to use that. So, I'm going to set to limit break, because right now it's set for level 1. Right now I can only use Braver and Cross Slash. I can't use Blade Beam even though I've already learned it. I have to set his limit break to level 2. So, we'll go over here, level 2, Blade Beam, change break level, yes. What that does is it now sets Cloud to level 2 breaks. So whenever he fills his limit bar, Blade Beam is what he can use. He cannot use Braver and Cross Slash anymore unless I set his level back to level 1, which I'm not going to do. Also, any limit amount that you have gained will be lost when you change levels. So say that I had like a half a bar of limit up there. When I change level 2, it takes that all away and starts at 0 again. Now that I've set to level 2 to Blade Beam, I now have to use Blade Beam a certain number of times before I can unlock Cloud's second level 2 limit break. So that's why I went in and set it. And finally, one other thing I want to point out, each level that you set to, the limit bar takes longer to fill. Now it's still based on how much damage you take in relation to your maximum HP, but you won't gain it as quickly at level 2, or won't gain it as quickly as level 2 as you would at level 1. Now, I don't know exactly what the ratio is. I can't say that it takes twice as long to fill up the level 2 bar as it does the level 1 bar. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but I know it does take longer to fill a level 2 than level 1. And then, of course, level 3 takes longer than 2, and level 4 takes longer than 3, and so forth. But it is still based on how much damage you take in relation to your maximum HP. You can still have an empty bar, and if you take enough damage compared to your max HP, you can fill up your limit bar quickly, almost to full or at full, at level 4, depending on how much damage you take. So, just keep that in mind, that each higher level, while you get better abilities that do more damage, it does take longer to fill the bar. And then, of course, you can always increase that by using Fury if you want to, but that's not what I'm worried about. Okay. Doing fine here. Let's proceed on through here and up the stairs here to level 61. Alright. Luckily, the door here is already open for us, so we can automatically go to the 61st floor. However, we cannot get to the 62nd floor because we don't have a keycard 62. If I tried to go up the stairs here, there would be a locked door on the next level. So we need keycard 62. And to do that, we need to talk to, I believe it's this guy here in the gray. We go ... Yeah. We're Shinra Inc. Repair Division. A former soldier wearing a purple outfit with a giant sword on his back, a giant black man with a gun arm, and a chick with big tits. Yeah, that's Shinra Inc. Repair Division, I'm very sure. And for that, he'll give us keycard 62. Now we can go to the 62nd floor. So now we go up the stairs here. If those three look like anything like the Shinra Repair Division, okay. Obviously, we couldn't go to any higher floors either. We couldn't go to 63, 64. We could go up the stairs, all the doors would still be locked. But now we have keycard 62, so we can pass through this door. Now we're going to come down here, and this one is actually a pretty interesting puzzle. We're going to go in here and talk to the mayor here. He's going to explain to us what's going on. Yeah, we're not Shinra Inc. to Division. This guy knows this is Avalanche, and he doesn't care. Everything in it is really run by Shinra. Alright. Okay. He has, he wants to give us his key card, but in return, we have to guess a password. Now, if you were to talk to him, there would be a list of passwords that pop up. You could actually try and randomly pick one and hope that you pick the right one, which I've done before. I've actually tried to guess what the password was, and on the first try, I've actually gotten it, which is funny as hell, without actually having to do the puzzle. If you get it right, you get a really good item. But the password is actually different every time. So you go through this playthrough several times, and it'll be different almost every time. There could be sometimes where it's duplicates, but it's going to be different almost every time. Let me get a little notepad out here to make sure that I've got this right. And I'm going to show you how to figure out what the password is going to be. Oh crap, there goes my microphone. Sorry about that. Sorry, it made a lot of noise when it crashed into my lap, but okay, there we go. Okay. What we have to do is we have to find a 4-letter password. It's going to be a combination, it's going to be a word that obviously has 4 letters in it. You talk to this guy here that would actually give you hints and tips, but I think you have to pay him in order to get those tips, and I don't really need him. I know how this part works. As you can see, there are 4 different squares of compartments here. Each one of these squares is a different department that has a subject category based to it. For example, let's talk to this sign here. This blue room is Shinra Inc. Space Division Research Library. So all the books in that room should be based on space division, space development and research, except one. Go over here to this one. This room is Shinra Incorporated Peace Preservation and Weapon Development Research Library. This lower left one, this green room down here, I'm going by the color of the floor, is Urban Development Research. And this red room down here, or pink room, whatever, is... Come on, Cloud, look at the sign. Look at the sign, Cloud. Look at the sign. That's a good boy. Scientific Research Library. Okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to go in there and talk to those library stands, and each one of them is going to have a book that you can read. Each of those books should be based on the category of the room, except for one. Whichever book that is, will give you a letter of the password that Domino is looking for. So let's start with this room up here. We're going to start with the upper left room up here. This room is what again? Peace Preservation and Weapon Development Research. Alright, so we're going to go in here, and we need to look for a book that has nothing to do with peace preservation or weapon development research. Alright, so let's talk to this one here. 2, Plan for New Land Weapons. Okay, that's weapons. Obviously, that's not what we're looking for. Alright, you can kind of go... I think you just... Okay, there's a couple of them on the walls. You got to kind of go along the library shelf there and make sure you're actually getting all of them. This is material production and its military uses. That could be weapon related, weapon development research, because it's talking about military uses. Let's see, is there anything on this side? Breakdown of soldier members by class. That could be weapon research related. Alright, let's try this one up here. This is all breakdown of soldiers by class. Heidegger Shinra Peacekeeping Law. Okay, peace preservation, obviously peacekeeping law. That's got to be, that book obviously belongs. Mako Energy and the Rise in Life Forms. 2, Energy Rise in Life Forms. Economic Report, Anti-Shinra Activities. Okay, that was a lot. Those were kind of vague. But let's check these others, because sometimes the book that's out of place depending on the category. You see, this one over here is this one scientific research? Oh no, I think this one down here was scientific research, right? Luckily, there's no random battles here. This is scientific research library. So, unfortunately, that scientific research library is kind of vague. So, I don't like to go into that one because, or at least that one, I don't like to go into that one first, try to guess the letter, because it could actually give you a book that could be related to scientific research, but actually belongs in another category because other categories are more specific. It may talk about I'm going to give you an example, but it's a book that actually could be counted as scientific research, but actually belongs in another category because the other category is a more specific version of that scientific research. Does that make sense? That's why I don't like using that room as first. It's urban development research. Okay, let's see if we can find a book that's not related to urban development. All right. Problems with plate construction in Midgar. Okay, that's definitely urban development. Midgar city map. That's probably urban development. Reactor construction chart. Urban development. Maybe. Midgar city map. An illustrated guide to city planning. Okay. And modern history of Midgar Space Program Volume 1. Aha! Alright, here's our first one. Midgar Space Program has nothing to do with urban development. So now what we need to do is we need to count, see the number at the front that says 16? We need to count how many letters, not characters, how many letters, so ignore spaces, count over 16 letters, and that's the letter that we're looking for the password. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Again, letters, not characters, so ignore spaces, do not count spaces. So 16 letters is M, the first M in the M in Midgar. So that's our first letter, M. Alright. I'm probably going to be able to guess this because I know the passwords. I'm probably going to be able to guess this in 2 letters. So I've already got a couple of ideas in mind. Let's go ahead and get beyond this, the first letter here. So we already have M. Alright, let's move out. Let's head out of here. Let's go back up into this upper right room here. What was the upper right room here? What is this one? Space Development Research. Okay, let's go in here. We need to find a book that has nothing to do with space development research. And you see what I mean by space development? A book that talks about space in some way, space development or something, could kind of be considered scientific research. So that's why I don't like using the scientific agreement, because it could be, it could relate to scientific research, but it belongs in a more specific category. That's why I don't really like using that room. Okay, looking for something that's not related to space development. Diminishing Mako energy and planet movements. That technically could be considered space development research. Modern history of Midgar Space Program Volume 2. Okay, got it, obviously, because let's talk about the space program. Results of failed space mission YA-79. Okay, obviously space mission, so that's not it. New plans for urban planning. Okay, there we go. That's what we're looking for, I'm pretty sure. Let's check the rest of them just to make sure. Urban planning has nothing to do with space development. Just like space development has nothing to do with urban planning. We got here Shinra rocket space travel. Obviously space travel. It says space in the name of the book. Obviously it's related. Economic report space development program. Again, the word space is on the damn book. It's related to space. Alright, so obviously what we're looking for is this one right over here. New plans for urban planning. So we need 10 letters. So let's count starting from N. Again, letters, not characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, our letter is O. Okay? Now again, it's going to be randomized as far as which books are out of place and what the letters are for this password. So even though this password may work for me in this playthrough, it may not work for you even if you're following along with me. It is completely randomized. You can't influence this password in any way. Alright? I'm pretty sure I've got I think I know what it's going to be. But I'm obviously going to go with I'm going to go with at least 3 of them to make sure I go to all 4 just to make absolutely certain. But I think with these 2 letters, I think I already know what it's going to be. But before I commit to it, I'm going to make sure. Alright, let's go out and go into this room over here on the left. Let's try this Peace Preservation and Weapon Development Research again. Now, if you're not sure what room you're in, you don't have to go out to find out what it is. You can go back to this TV back here in the back, and it'll tell you what room. This is the Public Order Weapon Development Library. Do not mix materials with the library. Okay, actually, that didn't tell you what it. Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought it was gonna. I thought I was gonna tell you what room you were in. Oh well. Anyway, okay, this was what room again? I just said. Okay, peace preservation research. Okay, so looking for anything not related to weapon development or peace preservation. Plan for new land weapons. So it just says weapon. That's obviously the key word we're looking for. Material production and its military uses. I would think that would be peace preservation and with the military and that kind of thing. Breakdown of soldier members by class. I would think that would be. Let's see. I think that would be. I don't know. I would think that might count because it's talking about. I mean, it's weapon and peace preservation, and technically soldiers are somewhat considered weapons, if you will. Heidegger's Shinra peacekeeping law, obviously peace preservation, obviously, so that one belongs. Mako energy and the rise in life forms. Okay, that I don't think has anything to do with peace preservation or weapon development. That'd probably be more of a economic or anti-Shinra activities. That's obviously that's peace preservation related. So I would believe that Mako energy and the rise in life forms, that would probably be science related. So that would probably belong in that science category on the lower right. So we need to look for two letters, M-A, so our 1, 2, obviously our letter we're looking for there is A. Okay, that kind of throws off what I thought it was going to be, but let's go ahead and go to the fourth room and see if we can still figure it out anyway. What we're going to be looking for in the fourth room is, this, like I said, this is a science research library, scientific research. We're going to try to find a book in here that has nothing to do with scientific research. Let's just hope that we can get that lucky. It's not going to be vague enough. Data on experimental animals living near Midgar. I would say that's scientific related. Ranks and extended use of Waco weaponry. Okay, that may fit what we were looking for right there, because it's talking about Waco weaponry. So let me check the other ones just to make sure. The ancients in history. I would say it's probably science related. I would assume. File on Dr. Gast, biologist. That's science related. Final evolutionary stages in land-dwelling life. That's science related. Report on high Mako levels in living beings. That's science related. So I would say that the no, not that one. Ranks and extended use of Mako weaponry. So I'm going to say that's probably what we're looking for. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we're looking for. So we got K. Okay. All right. It wasn't what I thought it was, but it is one of the passwords, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be originally, but now I've got it. But the letter order that we picked it, we've got M-O-A-K. We rearranged the letters M-A-K-O. Our password is Mako, and that's one of the passwords. So let's head out here, and if we did this right, we talk to Domino, Mayor Domino. He's going to give us a list of passwords, and these are the options that you have to look for as far as the passwords. Again, it's completely randomized, but if you go through those libraries and you find the letters that are missing, we find that in this case, M-O-A-K or M-A-K-O is up here under Mako. This is the password we're looking for. Is this the right one? And it is! Mako! Now we get his card, keycard 65, and because we guessed it on the first try, we get the elemental materia, a very, very good materia. Okay, the reason I didn't think it was Mako at first was the first two letters was M and O. One of the passwords that he had up there was bomb. So I thought the M and the O was going to be in bomb, but then the A came up in the upper right room. And that's what threw me off. I was like, okay, M-O-A. I didn't get it at first. Then I remembered the K. When the K came up in that science room, that's when I knew it wasn't bomb I was thinking of. It was Mako. All right, so we're good there. We got the password we were looking for. We have the elemental materia for getting the getting it on the first try. Let's take a look at that elemental materia, see what it is. It's actually a very good materia. I believe it's actually a passive, not passive, it's a paired materia. Adds materia element to equipped weapon or armor. So, again, very vague description. What it does is when paired with another materia, so in other words you have to use paired slots like these up here, or these down here on the armor, it will attach the element of the paired magic to the weapon. So, if I were to take this lightning materia and pair it with elemental, it would make my physical attacks deal lightning damage. Alternately, if you put it on armor, it will actually give you lightning. If you put lightning with elemental on armor, it gives you defense against lightning. I believe it. As you can see, the elemental materia has 4 stars. Each one of those stars really doesn't affect you. It really doesn't affect you offensively. It more affects you defensively. Offensively, if you equip it to a lightning materia, again, for example, you will use lightning to. Your physical attacks will also include lightning type damage. Therefore, if you hit an enemy that's weak to lightning with physical attack, you'll do extra damage. Alternately, if you physically attack an enemy that absorbs lightning, you'll actually attack them and actually heal them. So you want to keep that in mind when you're using it as using elemental as an offensive paired materia. But if you're using it as a defensive paired materia, say I put lightning elemental on Cloud's armor here, he will actually be resistant to lightning attacks, at least by half. At least for the first star. And I believe the second star, as you level it, as you see, you got again 4 stars there. As you level up the elemental materia, defensively it increases the amount of protection you have against those elements. So let me make sure. Let me go ahead and switch these around here real quick. Let's take those off, and let's put lightning elemental on the armor, and then go to status Cloud. And as you can see, he is now, because I put that lightning elemental on his armor, lightning attacks are now halved. As you level up that elemental materia, the defense will become greater. At level 2 or 2 stars, it will become the lightning will be lit up under invalid, meaning he will take no damage from lightning. When it reaches 3 stars, it will absorb lightning damage. So you see how that works? And then when it reaches 4 stars, it's obviously mastered, and you'll spawn a new elemental materia. This elemental materia is very, very good defensively. It can actually support some accessories. There are some accessories that will nullify, say, like 2 or 3 different elements, but you can actually use the elemental materia to nullify another type of element. So say you have an accessory that nullifies fire, ice, and lightning. Or let's just say you gotta make it easier, just do 2. Let's say you have an accessory that nullifies lightning and fire. You could equip ice elemental to your armor, and therefore if the elemental is leveled up enough, you'll actually be nullified to 3 different elements. So that's actually elemental is actually very good. You can also equip it to your weapon, like I said, to do extra damage or use that elemental damage to your weapon. And you can, if you equip it to the right materia, you can actually be very powerful because there's a lot of enemies resistant to a certain type of element. So, I'll go back into materia here. Right now, I don't really have a use for the elemental. I will be using it. It is a very good material. I will be using it, but not right now. And again, it only works on materia with elements. So pairing it with Restore doesn't do any good, because Restore is not an element. Lightning is an element. The reason you can tell that is because if you look at the screen here, on the lower left-hand side of the screen, you see lightning is the name of the materia, and lightning there in yellow shows you the element that it is. I mean, it's pretty obvious for the most part. You know, lightning, fire is going to be fire elemental, ice elemental is going to be ice elemental. But you see, Restore doesn't have a yellow text under it because it's not elemental. And it works on only magic materia and another category of materia that we haven't discovered yet. Now let's point that out when we get to it. So for now, I'm not going to be equipping the elemental materia because I don't really need it. But it is going to be a very good materia later on, and I'll be using it a lot, especially when levels up and becomes stronger and be able to eventually nullify and then eventually absorb damage. Now, you can actually take the elevators down here to, when you get the key card, you can take the elevators to go onto each level, but I don't see the need to do that considering it's easier to go through the stairs. Let's go up to the next level. I think we got key card 64 is what he gave us. Key items, yeah, 65. We have access to the 65th floor, so we can go all the way up to 65. We don't need a key card for 63 or 64 because 65 gives us access to the 63 and 64. But here on 63, we have access to some items, some pretty good items actually, and we're going to utilize those items in the next episode of Final Fantasy VII. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and I'll see you later.